Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back for our second day of the Tantric Path in Practice. I unconsciously switched the order yesterday. We were meant to do a strengthening practice and then today purification. So now we're just changing it. We're going with it. So Mondays now will be for purification and Tuesdays for strengthening. So welcome to our first strengthening practice. One of the most important parts of the body that we want to focus on building fortitude around is the torso. And the reason for that being that ultimately we want our asana practice to prepare us for the opportunity to sit in a meditation posture for longer and longer periods of time with greater and greater steadiness and ease. And one of the parts of the body that often sort of gives up on us as we're practicing our meditation are all of the different muscles in the torso that keep the spine erect and upright. So we will focus on that a little bit today, which might feel like a very different orientation from your standard like strength training practice. And it is different. It is oriented toward the ultimate aim of our yoga practice, which is meditation. The categories of asana that we will be primarily utilizing today are extensions, which are any posture that is bringing the spine into its fullest, most extended alignment with the greatest amount of spaciousness between each of the vertebrae. And we'll be doing that in various different angles so that we can try to strengthen front side of the body, back side of the body, and both side bodies. And then to complement our extensions, we will also be utilizing variations of lateral postures. So anything that has us tipping off to one side or the other, less so for the expansive integrative effect that laterals often have, which we would typically kind of create a little bit more curvature in the side body to access. More so with an emphasis on just strengthening both sides of the body so that you've got a little bit more of that fortitude that we're looking to create. Oh, and now he's climbing up me again, and Finn's very interested. All right, Danny, I know he's a big distraction. So there we have it. Let's go ahead and get started, and hopefully these guys will calm down. If not, then enjoy the show. There's no added charge. It's all built in. All right, Sam. And then you're crazy. Nice and calm, okay? Then you calm state. No vicious panther mode. Not during meditation. Or you. Okay, go ahead and come onto your mat. Let's start out on the hands and knees again. My favorite person. And give yourself about 30 seconds or so to just begin to feel into this posture. Spread the fingers. Invite a little bit of intuitive movement into the body. Noticing where you might have some residual sensation from yesterday's practice. And then begin to cultivate a little bit more extension in the spine. And notice which muscles need to get a little more actively involved to support that extension. A couple of things to check in with. Try to wrap the triceps back. Pull the shoulder blades down the back. And then pull the shoulder blades in toward the back side of the rib cage. Hug the forearms toward one another. Check in with the alignment between the pelvis and the ribs. Make sure there's not too much of a dip in the lumbar spine. Instead, think about pulling the tailbone and sits bones back as the crown of the head pulls forward. Might also be helpful for now to just press down a little bit more through the shins and ankles and tops of the feet. Think about the inner thighs spiraling back toward the wall behind you, almost as though you're trying to press the knees in opposite directions, so away from each other. That's another breath here to feel into this. And then we'll start to move through out and back. On the inhale, draw the collarbones forward, lift through the crown and tail. And on the exhale, gently round the spine. Hug the thighs together, scoop the belly up, and then gently tuck the chin. 3 more times. Inhale, glide the collarbones forward, lifting crown and tail. Exhale, round. 2 more. Cultivating a balanced experience of strength and fluidity. On the next inhale, come back to the hands and knees, neutral spine. Let's tuck the toes. And on exhale, float the hips up and back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog on an inhale, lift onto the balls of the feet. Drop the tailbone and then roll forward into a plank position. You may need to adjust the distance between the hands and feet. On exhale, start to draw the belly up and in, float the hips up and back again, returning to downwards. Inhale, lift the heels, lower the tailbone to help you roll forward into that plank position. Draw the collarbone forward, and on exhale, navel the spine, float the hips up and back, returning to your downward facing dog. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale to roll forward. And exhale to roll back. Inhale, roll forward. This time we'll stay in that plank position. So on exhale, just try to fortify the position. Pull the shoulder blades down. Keep a little pike in the belly. Draw the collarbones forward a bit more. Hug the forearms in. Press into the toes and inhale the finish forward. On the exhale, lower the knees. Bend the elbows straight back, coming lightly down onto the belly. Keep the arms and upper back engaged. Inhale, lift up just once more. And exhale again, lower. Ribcage squeezing right down between the biceps. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the elbows in. On the next inhale, lift the back of the head as you draw the sternum forward. Exhale, release. Just one more time. Inhale, lift. Stay lifted here if you can. And on the exhale, keeping the thighs together, try to float the legs off the mat. But on the next inhale, lightly lift the hands. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift up to the hands and the knees. Exhale, draw the hips back, child's pose. Give yourself a moment just to soften here. Ideally, for today's practice, have the thighs hugging together. And let's bring the hands behind the back and just stack the palms on top of one another, on top of the sacrum. Squeezing the thighs together, pressing down through the shins. On an inhale, lift the torso and then come all the way up off of the heels, sweep the arms forward. A little bit of a lift through the collarbones and sternum. On the exhale, begin to finish forward. The arms can sweep behind you again. Squeezing the thighs together, hugging the navel in, coming right back down to this variation of child's pose. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise up. This time, keep the right arm glued to the ear. On the exhale, lower and just keep the left. Increasing our leverage a little bit. Inhale, come back up, both arms. Exhale, just sweep the right arm back. Once more, inhale, up, both arms reaching, and then your choice here, either both arms can stay extended or both arms can be behind the back. Whichever you choose, take a moment to rest in child's pose alone. And then inhale, just come back up onto the shins, bring the arms up by the ears. On the exhale, once again, squeeze the thighs together, bring the arms out in front of you, and then start to hinge back. Pull the shoulder blades down. Try to keep the spine nice and long. You can stay with maybe a gentle pulse if you like, if that keeps the mind a little bit more interested. Keep dropping the shoulders, keep the back of the neck long. Start to feel some heat. Just a couple more breaths. Inhale, come upright. Once more, the arms can rise. And on the exhale, just take a seat on your shins. With the backs of the hands rest on the tops of the thighs. Soften the shoulders, lengthen the spine. Breathe a moment. Good. From here, let's come back to the hands and knees on an inhale. And on an exhale, back to downward dog. Feel free to pedal the feet a few times or move the body in any way that's going to help you loosen up through the hips, through the pelvis. One more little preparatory posture here before we move into our salutations. We'll work with a side plank, but we're going to bring the knee onto the mat. So let's start by bringing the right knee forward. Bring your right hand in line with your knee, and then swing your right whole shin really off to the right side. Roll your left heel down. So you should feel pretty stable here. And then draw the pelvis forward, trying to bring yourself into a relatively straight line, stacking the left side of the body on top of the right. From here, your left arm can rise up and maybe extend alongside. If you have the arm extended, take an inhale here. And on the exhale, just draw the arm back, bending the elbow, and feel a little bit of contraction coming into the left side body. Strengthening. Good. Inhale, extend the arm again. On the exhale, once again, bend the elbow. Little bit of contraction as though the pelvis and rib cage are trying to hug toward one another. Again, inhale, extend. And exhale, a little bit of a contraction. From here, if you'd like, lift the left arm and maybe float the left leg. I like to flex the foot. It feels as though the whole body gets a little bit more actively involved. Just one more breath. And on the exhale, set the foot down, bring the hand down, return to the hands and knees. A couple of rounds of cow and cat or any other movement that just helps to alleviate unnecessary tension in the body. Make your way back to downward facing dog. And then inhale and set your left knee down. Set your left hand down in line with the knee. Bring your left leg back behind you and right heel onto the mat. Draw the pelvis forward. Bring your body into a nice long line. Extend the arm up, and then if it's comfortable, extend the arm alongside the ear. But if the arm is extended, let's take an inhale into the side body. And on an exhale, bend the elbow back. A little bit of a contraction through the right side as though you're bringing the pelvis and the ribs closer together. Again, inhale, extend, open up, create some space. And then exhale, contract, concentrate energy right there in the side body. One more time, inhale. And exhale. From here, option to extend the arm up. You can stay here if you'd like, or just float the right leg for a moment, flexing the foot, a little bit of internal rotation through that leg. See if you can get lighter on your left hand. Take one more breath. And then gently release, setting the hand down, bringing the foot down, returning to your hands and knees. And again, a little bit of simple movement, cow and cat, or shifting the pelvis and shoulders side to side. And then we'll return once again to downward facing dog. So acknowledging that downward facing dog is an extension, and that the priority here is to create a long line in the spine. Press into the hands. Try to float the pelvis a little further up and back if you can. Try not to dump the chest into the mat. Instead, think about knitting the lower ribs in slightly. You're welcome to bend the knees as deeply as you want to or need to accommodate this extension. Try to have the ears more or less between the biceps, creating a little extra length through the back of the neck. Take another breath or two here. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift up onto the heels, soften the knees, look toward the hands. And on an exhale, step up to the top. Pressing down through the feet. Think about rolling your inner thighs toward the wall behind you. So the legs are just a little bit more active. You're recessing and straight through the abdominal floor, through the transverse muscles in the abdomen, through the pelvic floor. Bring your hands onto the back side of your ankles. And on the next inhale, keeping the legs strong, try to lift up, leading with the back of the head, halfway lift. Hands are going to slide up towards the back of the thighs. And on the exhale, fold back down again. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, lift halfway, rolling the shoulders back, lifting through the back of the head, creating a long line. Try not to dip into the low back. Keep the low back long and extended. And then exhale, release. Two more. Inhale, lift halfway, shoulder blades sliding down the back, abdomen drawing up and in, back of the head lifting. Exhale, release. Once more. Inhale, lifting halfway, creating a long line in the spine. Exhale, release. Stay in the fold for just an extra breath. Maybe you can let go of any of the heat or undesirable sensation in the body. And then again, hands to the backs of the legs on the inhale. Let's rise all the way to stand. And exhale, drop the shoulders, drop the sits bones, reach down through the wrists, up through the top of the head. So again, Tadasana is an extension. Try to press down through the feet. Pull up through the soles of the feet. Pull up through the inseam of the legs as that inseam is spiraling back. A little bit of a lift through the pelvic floor as the sit bones are trying to drop. A little bit of a lift through the front of the pelvis. A little bit of a drop of the front of the ribs. Shoulder blades drawing down. Shoulders drawing out, broadening. Back of the head lifting. Good. Give yourself another inhale and really feel into this alignment. On the exhale, stay aligned but soften. Good. One more breath. And then just to prepare the body for some of what's to come, let's loosen up through the hips a little bit. Bring your feet a little wider than hip distance. Hands can rest on the hips if that's comfortable, and just shift a little bit from side to side. This is one of my favorite motions. Hopefully it will feel good for you as well. Especially for any of us that do a lot of sitting or even distance walking or hiking or running. Running is not in my personal vocabulary. I guess for others it is, but we can get a little tight through the pelvis, so we just want to loosen up. And then just take the hips around in a few big circles. Switch directions. And then just a little bit of a shake. All right, go ahead and come back to the top of the mat. Keeping the spine nice and long and extended, inhale, scoot the arms forward to come up. On the exhale, glue the arms to the ears. Keep the spine as long as possible. Roll the inner thighs back. Lift through the sit bones. Try not to dump into your lower back. Instead, keep the lower belly active as you fold. Hands to the back sides of the legs. Inhale this way. Again, lengthening through the lower back. And exhale, release, set. Inhale to pitch forward. Activate the belly. Keep the belly active. Exhale, lower. Try to land heart first, then belly, then the top of the thighs. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Squeeze the elbows in. Find your cobra. Exhale, release. Hug the thighs together. Lift through the pelvic floor. Inhale, lift to the hands and the knees. Tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, lift the heels. Soften the knees. Look for the hands. On the exhale, try to walk to the top of the mat, heel toe. So really lifting through the belly to set the heel down and then roll forward onto the toe. Good. Hands to the back of the legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Find extension. Exhale, release. Glue the arms to the ears. Inhale, rise with a flat back. Use the strength of the legs to help you lift. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Give yourself a breath. Inhale to Utkatasana, chair pose. Bending the knees, drawing the pelvis back, lifting the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale, release into a fold. Inhale, lift halfway, hands sliding up the back of the legs. Exhale, fold. Soften both knees, slide the left foot back for warrior one, roll the heel down. Find alignment first. Glue the arms to the ears. Inhale, rise up, drop to the tailbone and sit up. Exhale and bring the right arm behind the back. Lower the tailbone toward your left heel and then start to pitch forward slightly, creating an extension here. Okay, so right hip drawing back, left hip drawing forward, belly drawing up so that we're lifting the front of the pelvis slightly, creating that long line in the spine. And then challenging it by playing with this tilt, asking gravity to add a little bit of rhythm. Let's breathe here for 3. Can you find your ease? One more breath here. And then inhale, lift up through the torso, finding that little bit of back bend. And exhale, let's open up for warrior 2. So adjusting the angle of the feet slightly so that your left hip is rolling open a bit. Left toes are likely going to roll open as well. More or less a heel to arch alignment. And then give yourself a couple of easy bends and straight. Keep going and then come into a nice static variation. Good. Coming into your warrior. Bring the arms up alongside the ears for a moment and check alignment in the spine. Try to press down through both feet. Adjust the tilt of the pelvis so you're not tilting this way or this way, this way or this way. Nice and level. So the pelvis is the base for the rest of the spine. And when you're feeling good about that, go ahead and bring the arms out to the side, drop the shoulders, extend through the wrists and fingers, and maybe take the chin and gaze out over the right. And soften into the hips. Strengthen through the musculature that is supporting the spine. Easy breath. On the next inhale, go ahead and straighten the leg just to give yourself a little bit of a break. Reach the right arm up and over and stretch into the right side of the body. Good. From here, on an exhale, rebend the knee. Not too long of a break. Let's place the forearm on the thigh. Guide your tailbone a little bit further forward so you don't run the risk of pitching it back behind you. Again, working with a lateral position to strengthen the musculature that supports the spine. The pelvis is going to stay really neutral and stable, but the sternum is going to start to rotate a little bit to the left. You might feel a twisting sensation or a stretching sensation through your left psoas. You can gently press the forearm and thigh into one another for leverage. Try to stack the ribs and stack the shoulders, even though the pelvis is at a little bit of a tilt. If it's comfortable here, continue to soften into the right knee and hip, but continue to prioritize lengthening in the spine. The arm can either come up or alongside the ear. Stay with the breath. Just two more. Try to cultivate that experience of ease. Good. On the next inhale, lift all the way up, straightening the right leg, arms to the sides. On the exhale, bring the right foot in so the feet are parallel and arms can rest down alongside the body. Stack the hands on the lower back. Drop the tailbone. Inhale, lift through the top of the head. On the exhale, press into the feet. Activate the legs as you hinge forward. Keep pressing into the feet and inhale to lift up about halfway. Once again, finding extension in the spine. And exhale, pull back down. Okay, now you're welcome to keep the hands where they are, or slide the hands down the back of the legs, or place the hands on the floor, whichever you prefer. Try to check in with the distribution of weight in the feet. Sometimes there's a tendency to put all of the weight in the heels. See if you can bring it a little bit further forward so that it's balanced between the balls of the feet and the heels. And that's going to require a little bit more activation. Just one more breath here. And once again, pressing down through both feet. Inhale, rise with your flat back. Let the arms come all the way up alongside the ears. And on the exhale, let's hinge to the left, coming into warrior one. So right heel will spin a little further back. Your left hand will come to your sacrum. Draw the shoulder blades down, draw the tailbone down, and then again find that angle where we're really concentrating on lengthening the spine. If you're dipping into the low back, see if you can activate the strength through the muscles in the belly. Try to create length, create extension. Rooting down through the heel, extending out through the wrist. Breathing here, about 3 times. Inhale, lift the back bend variation of warrior one. And exhale, open up for warrior two. Just bend and straighten a few times, loosening up. We haven't done a lot with external rotation, so ease into it. And go ahead and come into a more static variation of the posture. Keep trying to let the sits bones roll down, hip bones lifting up slightly toward the lower rib cage. So there's a good amount of strength, but not clenching in the abdomen. All of this to support the spine extending upward. Okay? Notice if you're off to one side or the other. See if you can create neutral in the pelvis, even if you have to adjust the angle of the foot and knee to accommodate that. What's happening in the spine will always be more significant than what's happening in the legs or the arms. One more inhale to create a little bit more length. And then you can let the arms float out to the sides, draw the shoulder blades down, reach out through the wrists and fingertips. And then if it feels right, look out over the left hand and enjoy a couple more breaths here. See if you can distribute the effort evenly throughout the body in support of an extended spine. From here, let's straighten the left leg, lift the left arm, giving your left hip a little bit of a break. Just extend up and over, stretching into the left side body. And then reactivating, let's bend the left knee again, roll forward and place the forearm on the thigh. Draw the tailbone in toward the body, draw the rib cage in, creating a nice long line here. Pressing the forearm and thigh into one another. The right hip will roll forward slightly, so there's a little bit of internal rotation in the right leg. This is going to help create the possibility for the rib cage to then spiral a tiny bit to the right, maybe extending the arm. Looking for strength, length, extension. Potentially the arm comes alongside you here. Good, so creating a line of energy here, see if you can breathe along that line, all the way from the palm of the right hand through the sole of the right foot. And what's happening in the legs? Bonus. Be with any of those little quivers or shakes. Just stay with the breath. Let your body express itself. Good, on the next inhale, we're going to lift up and out of it, straightening the leg, bringing the arms to the sides. Exhale, bring the feet parallel, let the arms come down, hands once again to that from the sacrum. Inhale, drop the tailbone and sits bones, lift to the crown. Exhale, come into that fold, press into the feet. Inhale, lift halfway. As you're lifting, think about the tailbone dropping slightly, using that as a lever to lift the spine. And then exhale, fold back. Option to keep the hands here or release them to a place that feels more supportive. Stay with the breath a moment. From here, pressing into the feet, inhale, rise with your flat back. Let the arms float up alongside the ears. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Give yourself a moment. I'm going to make sure we have time for this final standing. Yes, we do. Yay. Okay, good. Managing the time much better today than yesterday. Bring your feet a tiny bit closer together. Little bit of internal rotation through the left side. Fairly maximum external rotation through the right side. The pelvis will tilt a little bit to the right. Press down through the feet and then think about trying to hug the thighs back in toward one another. That should create a little bit more of a release down through the sits bone. So the pelvis again comes into neutral. Legs are active to support that. On the inhale, let's sweep the right arm up alongside the right ear. Place the left hand behind the back. And on the exhale, pressing into the feet, lifting through the thighs and pelvic floor, just hinge to the point where the spine can stay extended. And then release the right arm. Rolling the rib cage back a bit, strengthening through the belly. Inhale and extend the left arm alongside the left ear. On the exhale, just sweep the arm back again, so the palm is facing away from the body. Inhale, bring the right arm to the ear, and once it's there, rise the rest of the way up. And we'll do it again. Exhale, hinge, drawing the belly and the pelvis in. Release the arm. Inhale, extend the left arm. Exhale, bring the arm behind the back again. Inhale, glue the arm to the ear, and then rise. Again, exhale, hinging, lots of strength through the legs. Release the arm. Peeling the rib cage back. Inhale, extend the left arm. Exhale, just the arm comes back. Inhale, glue the right arm to the ear, rise up. And we'll do it one more time. Exhale, hinge, lots of strength through the belly and the legs. Release the arm. Inhale, extend the left arm. This time on the exhale, bring the arm back and get a little bit stronger if you can. Draw the shoulder blades down, draw the belly in. Inhale, glue the arm to the ear. Exhale, stay for just a moment longer. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, bring the feet parallel, release the hand down. Just breathe a moment. Then we'll switch. Roll the left toes open. Little bit of internal rotation through the right leg. Maximum external rotation through the left leg. Draw the tailbone and sits bones down, not by clenching the glutes, but by engaging the abdominals. Pressing down through both feet, pulling up through the inner thighs. Right hand comes behind the back, palm facing away from the body. Inhale, extend the left arm. Exhale, strong through the legs and the belly, just start to hinge. Once you get to that point where the body wants to kind of collapse on itself a bit, bring the hand down for some support. Inhale, peeling the rib cage open, extend the right arm alongside the right ear. Exhale, just the right arm comes back, setting it behind you again. Inhale, glue the left arm to the left ear, and then rise up. We'll do that again. Exhale, hinge. Maybe there's a slight increase in the range of motion with each repetition. The arm releases. Inhale, extend the right arm. Exhale, sweep it back. Inhale, glue the left arm to the ear, rise up. Exhale again, a little shift to the pelvis, lifting through the inner thighs. Left hand comes down for support. Inhale, right arm extends. Exhale, sweep the arm back. Inhale, glue the left arm to the ear, rise up. Exhale again, shifting, hinging. Inhale, extend the right arm. Exhale, sweep the arm back. Get a little stronger if you can, through the belly, through the legs. Inhale, extend the left. Exhale, stay. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release the arm, bring the feet back to parallel. Give yourself a moment. Once again, a little bit of a shift from side to side, loosening up where we might have drawn in some tension that we don't actually want to keep. Good, and then staying standing, let's angle the toes open slightly. Feet are just a little wider than hip distance, and the toes are at a very comfortable angle. We'll bend the elbows, make loose fists with the palms facing up, and then a very simple, gentle twist. Standing twists are the least demanding on the spine, and since we haven't done a lot of twisting today, this is one of the most accessible. Okay, go ahead and release that. Let's come down into Malasana. We're not going to come into a stagnant version. Initially, we're just going to hinge from side to side. Try to loosen up a little bit through the inner thighs, maybe through the pelvic floor, through the hips. Those spaces in the body that we want to have relatively soft and open for our meditation posture. So continue just to play for a few more breaths. And then come into a variation of the posture that you can sustain. If you have tight ankles, which is often just bone-on-bone compression that you'll never be able to do anything to change, don't fight it. Instead, you can roll your mat over, you can put a blanket rolled up underneath your heels so that you feel stable and steady here, rather than pretending that you do and wobbling the whole time. Give yourself what you need. Let the pelvis start to get heavy. If you still need a little bit more of a wiggle, you can invite that in. And then start to create some more extension through the spine. Arms can be here. Maybe the palms come together to help the knees stay open with minimal effort while we concentrate on extension through the spine. Gravity is ideally going to draw the pelvis toward the earth. And the shoulder girdle will start to lift upward, stretching into the space between each individual vertebra. Stay with the breath. Soften a little bit more if you can. 3 more breaths. Releasing out of Malasana, just take a seat. Let's extend the right leg out in front. Bend the left knee and bring the sole of the foot towards your upper inner right thigh. Going to come into a variation of Janu Shirshasana, which is preparatory for a posture that we'll move into toward the end of our 4 weeks together, called Mahamudra. Mahamudra engages all 3 bandhas, which we haven't really started to explore in depth yet, so we'll keep those off the table for now and just work with the physical structure of the posture. Pressing the left foot into the right thigh. Find that extension again. So notice if you're coming into a back bend and try to alleviate the back bend in favor of extension. Go ahead and bring your right hand behind your back again. Inhale, extend the left arm up alongside the ear, gluing it in place. Exhale, pitch forward, scooping the belly up and in, lifting through the pelvic floor, trying to maintain that length in the spine as long as possible. And then inhale to lift back up. Exhale, hinge into your furthest point for now. And then inhale, lift back up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hinge. This time, keeping the spine nice and long, go ahead and bring the left hand down. You can hold to the outer edge of the mat. You can hold on to a strap. You can maybe bring your hand onto your calf, ankle, or foot. Take another breath here to try to find a little extra length, and then you're welcome to get the right hand involved as well. From here, holding on to whatever it is that you're holding on to, roll the shoulders back and down, and then pull the sternum and collarbone forward, using whatever you're holding as a lever to create additional length, extension, space between the crown of the head and the sits bones or base of the spine. So you're continuing to pull back rather than trying to pull forward. It's very likely that you're starting to experience heat either physically or energetically in the back body. Stay with the breath, smooth, steady. Three more breaths here. Doing really well. One more inhale, pull back a tiny bit more. And on exhale, you get to soften. Notice where the sensation is present and just do the best you can to send the breath into those tighter spaces. Releasing whatever it was that you were holding. Use the hands for support. Inhale to rise up. On the exhale, just rest the hands on the knees, draw off the shoulders, lengthen the spine, maybe close the eyes. Eyes can flutter open. We'll just switch legs. So left leg forward, right knee is bending, pressing the sole of the foot against the inner thigh. Using that kind of pressure there to help you stay upright. This time the left hand comes behind the back, and you'll notice how that probably helps you bring your spine, the rib cage in particular, into alignment. Inhale, glue the right arm to the right ear. Exhale, extend out over the leg, just to the point where your body maybe wants to start to collapse. And then pressing down through the left leg, inhale to rise back. A few times in and out. Exhale, reaching out through the wrist, through the sternum and collarbones, through the top of the head. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise last time. Exhale, fold. And now we get to take a hold of the mat, the strap, the foot, whatever is available. Roll the shoulders down the back. Creating length. We're here for about a minute. Pulling back on whatever it is that you're holding. Looking for maximum extension in this. Smooth, steady breath. Go back on the foot. Keep breathing. Welcome any sensations of heat that might be blossoming in the backside of the body, or anywhere for that matter. Stay soft through the jaw and the face. One more inhale, maybe pull back just the tiniest bit more. And on the exhale, fold forward. Release where you can. Send the breath into those tight spaces. Just one more breath. And release whatever you were holding. Use the hands for support. Inhale to rise up. Rest the hands on the knees. On the exhale, soften the shoulders, soften the eyes, lengthen the spine into the feet. From here, let's bring both legs out in front and just give them a little bit of a shake. And then lock the feet in and out a few times. Try to loosen up through the hip flexors, through the pelvis. Then we'll bend the knees coming toward the top of the feet. Inhale to extend the arms forward and up. And exhale, roll yourself. Just to create a slightly more neutral experience in the spine, we'll move in and out of bridge once. Simply, palms facing down. Press down to the feet. Inhale, lift the pelvis, let the arms float up alongside the ears. Exhale, stay a moment. Press down through both feet. Inhale, maybe lift the pelvis a tiny bit higher. And on the exhale, roll the spine down. Good. Let the arms bend out to the sides. Bring your feet a little wider, windshield wider the knees. Bring the knees back to neutral. Draw the thighs in toward the belly. Give yourself a moment in Uttanasana, or if you prefer, extend the legs up. And then release to Shavasana. Settle into your resting position. Bring awareness into the space of the spine. And as the body breathes naturally, effortlessly, just notice where awareness wants to move, how it wants to move in that space of the spine. So if you are only practicing asana today, please give yourself another 10 minutes or so in Shavasana. If you are planning to join us right away for We Rise, give yourself at least a few more minutes before clicking on to the next link. And then feel free to stay in Shavasana through the first few minutes as we prepare for candle gazing. And then you can make your way up in time for the chanting of the prayers. Enjoy. See you shortly. Thank you.